Larry Rothschild's starting lineup for Tampa Bay. We'll have Randy Winn and Ron Keel leading off. Miguel Cairo second base bats second. Quentin McCracken in center field hits third. Fred McGriff first base bats fourth. Wade Boggs at third base hitting fifth. Mike DeFelice the catcher bats sixth. Rich Butler in left field hitting seventh. Kevin Stocker the shortstop bats eighth. And Dennis Springer pitching and hitting ninth. Kevin Jordan playing at third base this afternoon. Desi Relaford at shortstop. Mark Lewis at second. Rico Bronya at first. Mark Parent catching. Greg Jeffries in left. Doug Glanville in center. Bobby Abreu in right. And on the mound is the veteran right-hander Mark Portugal.
Porch is 3-2. He's got a 5.25 earned run average. Started 9 games. This will be his 10th. His last game was a gem. He threw his first complete game in almost 2 years. In fact, there was only 1 day off of exactly 2 years from his last complete game, but he was very effective. He used his fastball excellent. Had great command of it. Used it inside against that Boston club to go with that great changeup and a breaking ball he's got. And if he can pitch anything close to what he did last year, he should have a lot of success. I mean, last game, he should have some success today.
Randy Winn leads it off. Winn, since being called up, is hitting at .342. Impressive looking switch hitter, a 24-year-old. Got 3 hits off Kurt Schilling last night. Out of that leadoff hole, 1 ball and no strikes to Randy Winn. Winn was a 29th selection in the expansion draft, coming over from Florida. 1 hopper at Desi Relaford. Winn retired, 1 down.
You see opponents hitting 280 off a Porch. Lefties at 308, righties up to 252.
Umpires this afternoon, Jeff Nelson calling the balls and strikes. Charlie Relaford at first, crew chief Ed Montague at second, and Paul Schreiber at third. Here's Miguel Cairo. He's hitting at .268. One strike to Cairo. 78th birthday wishes today to Norman Stout in Mercerville, New Jersey. He offered at it. No, Charlie Relaford said he didn't. Sure looked like he did. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's Cairo up in the box as if to bunt, and ooh, yeah, he did jab at it.
He went after it.
Got away with it. 1 ball and 1 strike to Miguel Cairo. Pops a foul, backing out of play. Scott Rowland has started 110 consecutive games until today.
Something you don't see a whole lot with him sitting on the bench, but saw a little smile there at last shot of him. It's kind of relaxing. It's nice for a guy to come out and know he's not playing and just take a breather. Francona said, hey, it's time this guy gets a break. He's not going to come in and ask for a day off. I think it's a good decision. It's wise to give him a day off.
Poked into center field, a base hit for Miguel Cairo. He has been a pesky hitter in this series. Cairo is at first base with 1 down for Quentin McCracken.
He just punches this ball out there. It looks like a changeup, and he stayed back on it pretty good. Didn't hit it real well, but hit it in the right spot.
McCracken is hitting at .299. And a good year for these expansion Devil Rays. McCracken is among the league leaders in hits. 96 hits for the season.
That's that pitch right there, that fastball in, which is going to help, especially the left-handers, is going to help Mark Portugal make his changeup even more effective.
Ethel Lamont in Ship Bottom, New Jersey, celebrating birthday number 88 today. And golden wedding anniversary wishes to Michael and Anna D'Ambra of Philadelphia, celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary. Changeup just missed. 2 balls and a strike to Quentin McCracken.
You see Portugal holding the ball for a while. That's one thing that Schilling did last night when they got Wynn. He got real anxious over there. Just hold the ball up, and Wynn actually took off running last night before Schilling even made any movement. He stepped off and threw to second base, got him in the rundown. That's the one thing you want to do with these guys that run well, especially a young kid who gets anxious, is hold the ball on him.
There goes Cairo, swing and a miss. Mark Parent's throw is short hop. Desi Relaford a stolen base for Miguel Cairo. His 4th stolen base. Parent had been excellent at throwing out base stealers, 47% coming in.
Well, his short hops, if he get up, it's kind of a tough play there for Desi. If he gets it there without the bounce, or even gets it another probably a foot closer to Desi, probably get him there.
So Cairo at second base with 1 out, 2-2 the count to Quentin McCracken. He struck him out with a changeup. That's out number 2. Devil Rays are not a prolific base stealing club. They've stolen 55 as we look at Portugal's changeup to McCracken, or curveball it was.
Curveball, yeah. That was also yesterday. I think I said Wynn yesterday. Wynn was the one yesterday, not Cairo, that got picked off by Schill, but still the same thing in effect as holding the ball on those base runners.
Fred McGriff takes a strike. Tampa Bay has stolen 55 bases, but they've been thrown out 42 times. Only Toronto has been thrown out more in the American League, but Toronto has many more steals successfully, 91 of them. Changeup had him well out in front of it. Crime Dog has faced Portugal many times. He's a lifetime .250 hitter against Porch. 4 career home runs up him. Phillies staff leads the major leagues in strikeouts with 620. Tried to get a fastball by him and forget it. Hits the foul screen. 2-run home run. Crime Dog McGriff. Tampa Bay jumps to a 2-0 lead. He tried to sneak that fastball in, and Crime Dog was ready.
Now, if he gets it up a little bit, he'd probably have more success. That ball was down and in. It's a sweet spot for Fred McGriff.
The 8th home run of the year for Fred McGriff.
You see Mark Parent setting up inside, and he tries to get that ball inside and just got too much of the plate. McGriff would homerless last month, the month of May. For the first time in his career, he had not hit a home run.
Wade Boggs trickles it to second baseman Mark Lewis, and that will retire the side. But the Devil Rays put 2 on the board in the first. 2 hits, no errors, and none left after 1/2. Tampa Bay 2. Phil's coming to bat. Devil Rays got 2 in the top half. Terry Francona's starting lineup for the Phils in the bottom of the first. Doug Glanville center field leads off. Greg Jeffries left field batting second. Kevin Jordan at third base hitting third. Rico Bronya, the first baseman, bats fourth. Bobby Abreu in right field hitting fifth. Mark Lewis at second base bats sixth. Mark Parent, the catcher, hitting seventh. Desi Relaford at shortstop bats eighth. Mark Portugal pitching and hitting ninth. Defensively for Tampa Bay, Wade Boggs at third, Kevin Stocker at shortstop, Miguel Cairo at second, Fred McGriff at first, Mike DeFelice behind the plate. Rich Butler in left field, Quentin McCracken in the center, and Randy Wynn in right. Down the mound, the knuckleballer Dennis Springer.
Springer 2-10, 542 earned run average in 14 games started. Actually, his last start he got a no decision. He hasn't won since May 30th. He's actually tied for the American League lead with 10 losses. But he started after his last start, June 23rd. He pitched the next day on the 24th out of the bullpen, which is surprising. Never see opponents do against him, hitting .283.
Got the knuckleball over to Doug Glanville for a called strike. Glanville hitting at .316. The knuckleball foul. Springer's 33 years of age, originally drafted in the 21st round by the Dodgers in '87.
You see this knuckleball. This is a kind of a slow floater. You see it hardly spins at all, and it's like a freak pitch.
Beaten foul. Comes out of Fresno, California. Went to Fresno State. Last year was 9-9 with the California Angels. 13th pick in the expansion draft from Anaheim. Fastball a little bit low, 1-2. He pitched for the Phillies in '95, going 0-3 for the Phils in '95. Knuckleball grounded to shortstop Kevin Stocker. Anvil is retired, 1 down. Birthday wishes to Alma Downs of Pennsauken, New Jersey, from son Jimmy and from us. Alma's celebrating her 80th birthday today. We got well wishes to Sister Doris Elgin at St. Joseph's Villa in Flowertown, from all of the sisters at St. Joseph's Convent at St. Hubert's High School, many of whom we met the other night. L.A. Great Phillies fans. 1 ball and no strikes to Greg Jeffries. Two and nothing. Springer does not have a good strikeout walk ratio. 31 strikeouts, 42 walks. Hasn't been able to throw the knuckler for a strike to Jeffries. 3-0. A fastball and got it over for a strike. This fastball is clocked at 76.
Well, it probably looks a little harder than that after the knuckleball, but that's not really popping it.
Her fastball is deep but foul on the right field side.
You see the 2 knuckleballers at the top of the list in losses. Springer and Candiotti, with Juan Guzman, who is not a knuckleballer, all with 10.
Line drive hit to left field. Over to cut it off quickly is Rich Butler, and Greg Jeffries will hold with a single.
That's what Springer will do when he's behind the counter. He goes full count. He'll throw his fastball and slider. There he. After throwing a fastball inside, he throws a fastball outside.
Fastball got up there at 75.
He's losing it.
Yeah. Here's Kevin Jordan hitting at 310. Kevin's been hot, 433 in the last 10 games. Just with a knuckleball. Frank Muskie Massarelli, Indian Field, Wilmington, Delaware, is celebrating his 89th birthday. Wishes from family and friends and from us. Great fan of his whiteness. We'll always like that nickname, Muskie. 2 balls and no strikes to Kevin Jordan. Two nothing. Tampa Bay leads. We're in the bottom of the first. Fastball on the outside corner for a called strike. 78 on that fastball. Fastball up into shallow center. McCracken coming on. Makes the grab for out number 2. And we'll bring up Rico Brogna. Phillies lead the league in hitting at 279. Followed by the Atlanta Braves in Colorado. Phil's have had a good success rate also in steals. The Phillies 56 stolen bases have only been thrown out 22 times, and this might be a guy you can run on. Jeffries has been bothered with an ankle, but he has stolen 8 bases.
That's one thing you kind of wonder if they're going to let him go, give him the green light over there with that ankle problem he's had.
Springer thinks so.
Springer's fairly quick to the plate, but that knuckleball is slow. He doesn't throw a fast knuckleball, and he doesn't like to use his fastball unless he's behind in the count. So it is a good opportunity to run early in the count on Springer.
Started him with a fastball, and he missed with it. Robert Moore of Levittown celebrating his 80th birthday with his family in Levittown today. Another fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike to Rico Pena.
Another fastball at 78. I guess you could put it this way: if Dennis Springer loses his knuckleball, he's in trouble.
Pena's been up there looking for the knuckleball, evidently, because he's taken a couple of fastballs, 1 for a ball, 1 for a strike.
You see 12 for 16 stealing bases off of Dennis Springer, and that's largely due to that knuckleball.
There it was. Floats in high for a ball, 2-1.
He was playing catch before the game with Wade Boggs in front of the dugout. Boggsy actually pitched the game this year against Anaheim using all knuckleballs. And I asked Springer, I said, did Boggsy teach you that? Because Boggs has a great knuckleball.
Another knuckler pops out of the glove of DeFelice, and Jeffries will move up to second on what probably will be a pass ball. Pitch was a little high, but should have been caught by DeFelice.
This is expecting it to come down, and it actually just stays up. It's that floater, and that's the problem with the knuckleball. The catcher doesn't always know what it's going to do. The pitcher doesn't either. And you try and get a general idea of, make it go one way or go another way or break down, but sometimes you don't always have control of it.
Gave him a 3-1 knuckleball and missed with it, walked him. So the Phillies with 2 men on base and 2 outs for Bobby Abreu, one of the leading hitters in the National League with runners in scoring position. Abreu hitting .417 with runners in scoring position. The Phillies as a team are hitting an even .300 tops in the National League. Abreu overall hitting a .324, 9th best in the National League. Knuckleball, and he threw that one for a strike. Slammed to right field and off the glove of Randy Wynn. 1 run will score, holding at third. Bronya. Abreu hit it hard, and I have to wait and see how they score. And if I'm the scorer, I'm going to give him a hit.
That ball was hit hard. It was a catchable ball, but it was hit hard. Wind goes over. It looked like he just got him on the heel of the glove. He gets the knuckleball up there, kind of middle in, and he just turns up. You see this ball, it does hit him right on the heel. Almost, in a sense, overran it. He scored an error?
Yes, they did, yeah. So it'll be an error on Wynn. No RBI for Abreu. Was catchable, but not an easy play. He really hit that ball hard. Here's Mark Lewis hitting at .236. Phillies have cut the Devil Ray lead in half now. It's 2-1.
Had Wynn caught that, he might have had a double play because Rico took off running. I think he thought that there were 2 out. That's why he took off running.
That's exactly right.
They would have started the next inning with 1 out.
I guess so.
When's Dalton leaving?
Bobby Abreu is a lot like ULA. He thrives on day games. In 4:30 day baseball. Fastball hit to right center, but Wynn is going to almost didn't get that one. That will retire the side. The Phillies get an unearned run, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 men left. And at the end of 1, it's a 2-1 ball game, Tampa Bay. Parent will lead it off. Parent hitting at .250. He's faced Springer before. He's 1 for 3 lifetime against Springer. Knuckleball a little bit high. 1 ball and no strikes. Knuckleball misses. 2 balls and no strikes. Birthday wishes to Howard Snyder in Allentown, Pennsylvania today. This glorious June 28th. Fastball on the outside corner, 2-1. Another fastball missed wide. When he throws his fastball, he tries to hit the corners. He's not going to come down the middle of that baby because that last one was at 75.
Yeah, he definitely didn't want to be over the middle of the plate with it.
3-1 to Parent. Well hit to deep left center field. This ball is off the top of the fence. Parent heading for second. And he slides in with a double. So he got a fastball that hit him. He did not miss it.
Springer doesn't want to walk him. Actually doesn't want to walk anybody with that knuckleball. It's tough enough. Then he gets a fastball middle in, and Bernie just lets loose with it. It's the top of the wall out there.
And we'll bring up Desi Relaford, who's hitting at .291. Desi will try to pull the ball here, even with the pitcher due up next. The pitcher is a good hitting pitcher. 1 ball and no strikes to Relaford. Ball floats in high for a ball.
Special birthday wishes to Ann, mother of Phil Sheridan. Works in a visiting clubhouse. I had the pleasure of her hospitality on Phil's wedding night to be over there and had a great time. Happy birthday, Ann.
Fastball hit sharply, fielded by Crime Dog. He'll make the play himself, but it moves Parent up to third base, where with 1 out, it'll bring on Mark Portugal.
He gets a ball to pull, and he pulls it. He hits it hard. You don't want to just give yourself up to get a runner over to third. You want to try and drive it somewhere, and Desi did. Fred McGriff makes a nice play and takes it himself.
Infield pulls in for Mark Portugal, who's hitting at .231. Knuckleball bounces up there, 1-0. Harry Rothschild brings his infield in early in games. Understandable here with the pitcher hitting. And 1-run lead. Fastball on the inside corner. Portugal thought it was inside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
That outfield is shallow too with Porch. Porch can hit the ball.
Fastball at the knees for a called strike. So Springer is ahead of him with a couple of fastballs, 1 ball and 2 strikes. The hardest one he's thrown all day, 79.
He let it go.
That'll be a knuckleball. Oh, a fastball base hit right field. Portugal knocks in the tying run with an RBI single.
Dennis Springer was really upset with himself there. He obviously didn't want to make that pitch there. Portugal sitting up there looking for knuckleballs. He gets a fastball up high. See, he's just trying to throw it. Phillies sitting down and away, and Springer just got that ball up over the middle of the plate.
Brings up Doug Glanville. He grounded it out his first time up. Springer is not throwing his knuckleball for strikes, and that has hurt him here. We're tied at 2-2. Missed with another knuckleball, 2-0.
Well, that's the thing. Knuckleball pitchers live and die with that pitch and that pitch only. And if he's not getting over, he's got to come in with the fastball. You said he doesn't have a real good fastball velocity-wise.
That one in a good spot. 2 balls and a strike. Knuckleball high, 3-1. Margie States of Philadelphia celebrating her 79th birthday today. Glanville will look for a fastball here now. The count 3-1. He's in a good spot on the outside corner at the knees. Fans didn't think it was a strike, nor did Glanville, but it's a full count now to Doug Glanville.
He had a little bend on, a little cut on that fastball. As you see, Rick White's already up in the bullpen.
Fastball drilled foul. Count still full to Doug Glanville. Jack Feeney of Reading, Pennsylvania, 80 years of age today. Fastball low and away, walking. Second walk given up by Springer. Phillies have 2 men on base with 1 out for Greg Jeffries, who singled his first time up. Pitching coach Rick Williams coming out to talk to Dennis Springer. Son of one of the great managers of all time in baseball, Dick Williams' son. Was Williams he was never your manager, was he?
No, he was in Seattle after I left there and San Diego before I got there.
I don't know what he can tell Springer, because he's not throwing his knuckleball for strikes, and when a knuckleball pitcher isn't throwing that pitch for strikes, they're in trouble.
Yep.
Candiati has a good curveball to go along with his knuckleball and a fastball, but it appears Springer has just the fastball besides the knuckleball.
He throws it fastball. He throws. You see his pitch count, 44 pitches. The strikes and balls not good, but Springer will throw a slider on occasion. But it's when you have a lack of velocity like he does, and he knows it, that he's got to have that knuckleball to be successful.
Greg Jeffries takes a high knuckleball. He's been up with the knuckleball all game.
When he's gotten it down, he's had a good dip to it, but it starts at the knees and then bottoms out. See, first pitch strikes, like 2 out of 11.
Knuckleball didn't miss by much. He wanted that one. I don't think Jeff Nelson's giving him anything either with the knuckleball.
No.
It's almost like he's quitting on it. Did not give in. He threw a 2-0 knuckleball that's high, and it's 3-0 now to Jeffries, who has been one of the Phillies' best hitters with runners in scoring position. Greg hitting .377 with runners in scoring position. Kevin Jordan waiting on deck. Fastball, he took it for a strike, 3-1.
And he can get by with the fastball. I know it's only 79. His knuckleball is about 60, 61, 62. But if he's not getting that knuckleball over, then he's got nothing to work with it.
Another fastball. Jeffries expected more and got well out in front of it. Full count to Greg Jeffries.
This might have been a slider here. I'm not sure the way. Yeah.
It was. He did throw a slider. Another one that's fouled off.
This is similar to what he did last time with Jeffries after coming inside 3-2, and he fouled one off. He went away with the fastball, and Jeffries got the base hit to left. So if he does the same thing here.
Base hit left center field. Mark Portugal being waved around. The throw is coming into third base. It's cut off. Phil's go ahead 3-2 on the RBI single by Greg Jeffries.
And that's exactly what he did that time after coming in with a couple of pitches behind the count, and he tries to go away, and that's going to be it for Dennis Springer.
Here it is.
It's a fastball. He gets it up a little bit, and Jeffries right on it.
So Jeffries continues his good hitting with runners in scoring position. He puts the Phillies in front. And that'll be it. An early shower for Dennis Springer. We have a pitching change for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Phil's the lead 3-2. Back after these messages. New pitcher coming on for the Devil Rays is 29-year-old Rick White. White signed as a free agent this offseason. He's appearing in his 10th game. He's had 3 starts. He's won 1, lost 3, a 4.56 ERA, 25 2/3 innings, 23 hits and 13 earned runs, 16 strikeouts, 10 walks. And opponents are hitting .242 against White. Rick White was originally signed by Pittsburgh in the 15th round of the June '90 draft. Pitched for Pittsburgh in '94 and again in '95. One of his major league wins, and he only has 7 of them, came against the Phillies.
He came up, he was in the rotation and made 3 starts there. Since been moved to the bullpen. He got his first win since in June 15th since October 1st of '95.
Kevin Jordan, the first one to face him, looks at a pitch a little bit low for a ball. Play runners first and third, 1 out, 2 runs in. Phil's lead at 3-2. Rays keep their infield back at double play depth. 2 balls and no strikes.
That fastball at 92, they're going to have to turn it up a notch after Springer. I mean, it's a real change of pace from the knuckleball and the
79-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah.
Foul back. 2-1 to Jordan. base hit right field. Coming home to score is Glanville. Jeffries on his way to third. Kevin Jordan goes into second with a double. Phillies now lead it by a score of 4-2.
The hitman. KJ gets the count in his favor, and he doesn't miss too often. Fastball down and away and just takes it to right field. Right down in that corner. You see, watch, he just goes out after this ball, just stays right on it. He just got a nice swing. He attacks the ball.
And that'll bring up Rico Brogna, who walked his first time up. Different today than last night after looking at that Rolando Araujo.
Boy, he was something.
Yeah, very, very impressive. In his 10th game in his rookie year. Changeup on the outside corner. There's Rolando Araujo. It's 110. Strong candidate for Rookie of the Year, probably just Ben Grieve out at Oakland. Only one with credentials for that honor in the American League. Araujo last night, 8 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, no walks, 6 strikeouts. I'm Scott Rowland. I got to be sitting there in the dugout saying, "Why today? Why if you were going to sit me out, why didn't you sit me out last night against that guy?"
Oh, he is tough on right-handers.
Yes, he is. Rico Brogna goes down swinging. So that's out number 2 in the inning, and it'll bring up Bobby Abreu.
White gives him a good fastball. Actually, pretty good pitch for Brogna. Brogna hits that pitch most of the time.
Nick Capozio of Philadelphia's 76th birthday today. Catherine Baker of Cherry Hill, New Jersey, 78. Bobby Abreu hit a BB to right field, who scored an error his first time up. Runners are at second and third. 2 outs, 3 runs across. One ball and no strikes to Abreu. Bouncing ball chopped to Fred McGriff. White covers to retire the side. Phillies take the lead with 3 runs in the inning, doing so with 4 hits. No Ray errors and 2 men left after 2. Phil's 4, Tampa Bay 2.
Take part in that autograph and auction party for the benefit of ALS. We look forward to that every year. So we'll see you out here tomorrow. And the Phillies will, as you see the bench there, bus on up to New York City tomorrow night after that ALS party. And open a 3-game series with this guy's former team, the New York Yankees. Here's Wade Boggs, followed by Mike DeFelice and then Rich Butler.
They get to face David Cohn and Bob Wells and David Wells and Hideki Irabu.
Yeah, it should be a fun series for those of us in the booth.
Yeah, I don't think those guys going up to that batter's box is going to be a lot of fun.
No. And that'll be great to be in that ballpark with all the tradition of Yankee Stadium. Can't wait. Boggs off the end of the bat. This will be a little easier play for KJ. How about that play?
Unbelievable.
A great play. We had just got finished talking, Andy, about how far over Jeffries was playing McGriff the pull in the outfield. And there was no chance that Greg Jeffries could get to that ball. And Kevin Jordan made an incredible play.
Like Scott Rowland went out there and put on KJ's uniform.
And there's Greg, who was shifted over for McGriff. Yeah, it was like Rowland made that player, Mike Schmidt, who was the best I ever saw at catching pop-ups down that third baseline.
That's not to take anything away from KJ, but I think KJ will tell you he's not the same defensive player as Scott Rowland.
No, but he made a Rowland-type play.
Yes,
that's for
he
sure.
did. Yes, he did.
And he was almost on that warning track when he caught that ball. There's another pop-up, first base side. Parent over, and Mark will run out of room as it bounces off the Phillies dugout and back into this sun-splashed crowd. A beautiful afternoon. Gives us a chance to wish a happy 85th birthday to huge Phillies fan Bill Moffitt from Shamokin Dam, Pennsylvania. Got a nice letter from his wife, Catherine, and they will be married 65 years in October. So happy 85th birthday and 65th anniversary in October to Catherine and Bill Moffitt.
That means he got married about 20.
Yeah, 19 or 20. Stayed married all those years. Very nice.
Wow.
Also amazing.
Very.
Time is called. It's DeFelice, who lined out to Jeffries his first time up, will bat here. And a 2-1 count on him. 1 out in the 4th inning. Phillies with a 4-2 lead. Mike DeFelice, who the Phillies saw in the St. Louis Cardinals uniform last year. A strike call, 2-2. Was actually born here in Philadelphia, but didn't grow up in the area. Foul again, right side now to play. But those Pico Power Energy rankings, in case you missed it, Mark McGwire hit another one last night, almost hit 2 in that game. Sammy Sosa now at 32, and in the American League, Ken Griffey has a sore hamstring. He has 31, and his teammate A-Rod 27. Portugal thought he had it, but it's called a ball, 3-2. See him take a long look in at the young umpire Nelson.
I was pretty close to the same pitch. Porch has some words to say to Jeff Nelson, obviously not loud enough to hear him.
Which is just as well.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Now he gets him. Now DeFelice didn't like it. It's almost like that was a makeup. So that ball's outside.
I think he first turned around to ask if he swung at it.
Yeah, right, because he thought the pitch was off the plate.
But then you see him, he starts to go, and then he calls a strike. DeFelice wants to know, did you say I swung that? And he says, isn't that ball outside?
Ball's outside, he says. Well, it wasn't. It's a strikeout for Portugal, and there are 2 outs. 3 strikeouts for Mark so far. And Rich Butler here to fly ball to left. Jeffrey's been a busy guy out that way today. Butler, the brother of Rob Butler, who played briefly for the Phillies last year. Native of Canada. And a strike called to him, 1-2. It's the second game Nelson's had the plate in this homestand. First game of the Boston series when Carlton Lower was the Phil's pitcher. The young umpire was behind the plate. There's a base hit for Butler.
You don't see that a whole lot with the umpire staying for 2 series, although they were just a 2-game series against Boston and then 3 games here. But usually umpires are only doing 1 series at a time before they move on. There he throws a fastball inside to Butler. Butler, seeing him last year in Syracuse, has a lot of trouble with the changeup, and I'm surprised Porch wasn't using changeups there on him.
Kevin Stocker, the batter. Stock struck out his first time up. No one in the on-deck circle yet. Now here comes White, the pitcher, out. He has a hit in the game as he came in for Dennis Springer, who lasted just 1 1/3 inning. There is the pitcher White, and there's nobody up in the bullpen, although there's some people running down there right now. We go a couple pitchers.
If they're trying to get up, they might be a little late.
Pop-up foul. It'll go out of play, third base side. Albie Lopez was one of them, and the other, the left-hander Scott Aldred. Stocker is 1 for 8 in this series, but batting .279 in June. Stock had dropped off a little bit at the end of May and then started to swing the bat pretty well this month, batting .225 overall for the Devil Rays, and does a lot of hitting out a 9-hole. Another foul out of play left side. Portugal throws a fastball. I think a lot of these left-handed hitters hit fly balls to left off Portugal because they're looking for change-ups and they're a little late on those fastballs he throws.
They sit back and try and wait on it. Plus that change just throws your timing off so much. They see Albie Lopez is up in the pen. You do not want to be in the dugout when that phone rings in the bullpen to get somebody up. It's not a good idea.
I was thinking the same thing. You know, I mean, they're supposed to be out there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, your closer, he knows when, you know, he's going to be pitching like 8th, 9th inning. You know, he'll sit in the dugout for 6 innings to watch the game, but the other guys pretty much got to be out there.
Stocker, a base hit to right field, so now a decision for Rothschild whether or not to hit for White and use another pitcher up this early, and the decision is he will hit for him. Devil Rays with 2 on and 2 outs.
He gets a fastball. Port's getting hurt by his fastball in an inning right now.
Well, the Phillies taking a look. Both Portugal and Mark Parent, as you see them, are looking into the dugout to see who's going to come out. And it's going to be Carlos Ledesma, a right-handed batter. We have yet to see him in the series. That's Randy Wynn, the leadoff batter. Here comes Ledesma. Excuse me, it's Aaron Ledesma.
From Baltimore?
Right, from the Baltimore Orioles. He was originally selected by the Mets and was also in the California Angels organization, then Baltimore, and then selected by Tampa Bay in the 3rd round of the 1997 expansion draft. So Aaron Ledesma will come out now and bat for White.
See, Ports with 60 pitches. Top of the 4th, 2 outs. Actually, it's not real low. It's definitely like to be less than that. Figuring about 15 pitches an inning, maybe a little more than that by the time he gets Ledesma out.
Ledesma coming into this season just 88 major league at bats, but a .352 hitter. And there are the numbers on him. He is listed as an infielder. You see the runners on. Butler at second, Stocker first with 2 outs for Aaron Ledesma. And the pitch is over for a strike. Ledesma, as a pinch hitter, is 1 for 6 on the year. No homers, no runs batted in. And 190 with runners in scoring position. 3 hits in his last 6 at bats, though. And he pops that one up right side. It's a long run for Bronya and Abreu, and nobody could get there. Bobby Abreu was limping. Yes, in his last at bat, I saw him when he went by the bag. He was limping noticeably, and he did not run well on that ball.
There was a foul ball that I think it was DeFelice or somebody hit over there, and he went out, and it looked like he was limping there, and I couldn't tell if maybe it was just when he was slowing up or if there was something wrong.
No, he's definitely limping. In fact, what did he do? He made when he grounded out on the 3-1 hookup, I noticed it in his second at bat. Terry Francona, Chuck Cottier looking on. I don't know that he could have gotten in there anyway, but the way that he's running, he had no chance. No balls, 2 strikes. Outside, good play by Parent, and it's 1-2.
Well, you wouldn't want to lose Bobby Abreu right now.
Not with this series coming up that the Phillies are going to face after today. Everybody looking forward to that day off tomorrow. Everybody will be here tomorrow night, of course, but at least they don't have to play tomorrow. And they get right back into it for a week, and then the All-Star break comes along. Swing and a foul into the crowd. Everybody's okay. And Mark Portugal is going to get a visit from Mark Parent, his catcher. Last year, Ledesma played in 85 games at Rochester when he batted .325, and then with Baltimore last year in 43 games hit .352 as they talk it over.
I saw Ledesma last year in Rochester. He's a pretty good little ball player. A lot of times they get up here, it's hard. If they're not playing every day, they don't really get that chance to get in a rhythm, and it takes them a while to earn that opportunity to start and get on track.
Down the line, fair or foul. It's fair ball and trouble. One run's going to score. Here comes Stocker being waved around. He will score and tie the game. A two-run pinch double to right field by Aaron Ledesma.
Well, had Abreu hit Mark Lewis, they might have had a chance. Mark Lewis has shown a really accurate and strong arm on those relay plays. It's a fastball. He's staying away on Ledesma, and he kept going out there, and Ledesma finally caught up to one.
Ledesma has had a few starts this year. 12 at second, 3 at third, 9 at shortstop. But comes through big time as a pinch hitter. As Butler got a 2-out hit, followed by Stocker's hit, and now the 2-run pinch double to tie it by Ledesma. So we're all even now, 4-4 in the 4th inning. And the leadoff batter, Randy Wynn, 0 for 2 with a ground out and a fly out. Swings and misses. Wynn coming into the game batting at .342. Ledesma on at second base. And he has now knocked in 6 runs on the year. 0-2. Thirteen hits already in this game. 7 by Tampa Bay, 6 by the Phillies, and both teams with 4 runs. Fouled back. Portugal coming off that great game last time at Boston. 9 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs. No walks and 7 strikeouts. Coming into this game with a record of 3-2.
That's what we saw. Really good command of his fastball, and he hasn't had that same command today.
Gets him out in front of a changeup there, and he beats it foul first base side. Well, he continues to have good control. He hasn't walked anybody now in over 17 innings. But I know what you mean by command. Sometimes you can be wild in the strike zone and get hurt.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Is, to me, having good control, you don't walk people. Having good command is making good pitches in the strike zone and not walking people.
And looking on, John Vukovich and Galen Cisco on this bright, sunny afternoon. Struck him out. But some 2-out trouble in the inning as the Tampa Bay Devil Rays get 2 runs on 3 consecutive 2-out hits. And they leave 1, and we're tied at 4. Here's your Chevrolet game summary. Scott Rowland, his first non-start, actually turned out to be 93 consecutive games. He's not playing here today, and you never know. He might get into this one before it's over. Kevin Jordan playing at third base has done a good job as always. Made a spectacular catch, has a couple of hits. Fred McGriff with a 2-run home run in the first inning. And Miguel Cairo's had a heck of a series so far for these Devil Rays. 3 hits again today, 3 hits yesterday, 7 for 11 in the series. Kevin Sefcik's going to stay in the game. Greg Jeffries obviously having trouble with that right ankle will leave. And the new pitcher for the Phillies batting second in the lineup, the right-hander Wayne Gomes. There are the numbers on him for play-by-play. Here's Harry.
Thanks, Will. Gomes, he has done a good job out of the bullpen. 6-2 his log with a 3.54 ERA. Good strikeout walk ratio, 45 strikeouts and 10 walks. And he'll face Randy Wynn to lead it off here. Bunted at the ball and missed it. 1 strike to Randy Wynn. Wynn is grounded out, flied out to left, and struck out. So Mark Portugal going 6 innings, charged with the 4 runs, 8 hits. He struck out 4, didn't walk anybody. He's gone 19 1/3 innings now without issuing a base on balls. Line drive in the gap in left center field. Glanville cuts it off nicely and will hold Wynn to a single. But Wynn, who is a speed merchant, a leadoff base runner for the Devil Rays here in the 7th inning. Andy Wynn's done a nice job for these Devil Rays since coming up from Durham. Glanville held him to a single there, keeping the double play in order. Also have to keep an eye on Randy Wynn because he is a base stealer. He's stolen 9 bases since joining the Devil Rays. He leads the club in steals, and he's only been with them a little over a month. Last year at A and AA ball, he combined to steal 51 bases. So he is a threat at first base as Miguel Cairo stands in. He is 3 for 3. He's had 7 hits in this 3-game series. He gets a bunt down. Fielded by Bronya to Lewis in time to get Cairo. The sacrifice is good. So Cairo moves the runner along. Bronya to Lewis. Wynn moves up to second base. Pretty good bunt by Cairo. Phillies really weren't particularly looking for it. And he gets the runner into scoring position for Quentin McCracken. Quentin McCracken is struck out, grounded out, lined out to center field. Fastball for a called strike. Fred McGriff waits in the on-deck circle. 4-4 ball game here in the 7th inning. Pickoff try at second base. Randy Wynn is back. Now balls and a strike to Quentin McCracken. Nothing in 2.
Gomes and Relaford doing a good job of looking after Randy Wynn back there. I mean, it's a great time to steal a base with 1 out. And he can steal. He has 9 stolen bases. If you forget about him, he might go.
51 last year.
Well, the Marlins organization. That was not good. That pitch was close, but Desi Relaford was standing on second base when the pitch was made. See, so he's going to come in and tell Gomes, no, now look at me. We get a sign if I'm going. Either throw or step off. Because there was a lot of room at shortstop if he had hit that ball. Now watch what happens here. Here comes Desi. He gave him a sign he was going to second, and Gomes did not step off or throw. He has to do one or the other.
Instead delivered the pitch. 1-2 the count to Quentin McCracken. Was it off play? McCracken doesn't look that big to have been a defensive back at a major college football program, does he?
Well, he probably ran pretty well and could hit some people.
I guess so. DB in college at Duke besides being a baseball player.
1,200 on his SATs. Ground ball to third base, short out nicely Kevin Jordan. He throws out McCracken. That's 2 down. And now you've got to deal with the crime dog, Fred McGriff. He's hit a 2-run homer, is flied out down the left field line on a great catch by Kevin Jordan and grounded out. Just see Mark Parent just went out to Wayne Gomes and went, put the fingers to his head. Think now, if he hits a ball to the right side, you got to get over there. Because those infielders are way back. I mean, Mark Lewis is in the outfield. Rico Bronya playing as deep as he can. So the pitcher must react and get over there and help to a full hitter like McGriff. It's a good veteran play by Mark Parent.
Curveball for a called strike. We're in a 4-4 game here in the 7th inning. Inside with a fastball, 1-1. Low, 2 balls and a strike. Base hit right field. Bobby Abreu over to cut it off. No chance for a throw to the plate. Wins scores. And the Devil Rays ball gets loose now. There'll be an error, and Fred McGriff moves up to second base. Devil Rays take a 5-4 lead here in the 7th inning.
This game's a little bit sloppy this afternoon. Here's McGriff, has a good at bat. I've seen him do a lot of this over the years. Bobby Abreu has no chance to throw that guy out at home with 2 outs. He was off of the crack of the bat. Randy Wynn, a good runner, and then McGriff, as the ball got loose in the infield, he'll move up to second.
Somebody will get in there. I'm not sure who.
They're probably waiting for our replay.
And I'm not sure who handled that ball. Abreu did not try to throw it to the plate. Wade Boggs now is going to get the intentional walk. Try to throw out the Fleet win. And give it to Abreu. Okay. Well, Boggs is hitless in this series, but he is a left-hand bat, and they do intentionally walk him. Boggs is 0 for 10 in this series, but that means that hit man is due, and they're going to take a chance with him with first base open. They'll go after the right-hand hitting Mike DeFelice.
Here's what happened on that play. Yeah, he doesn't come home with it, and then he just lobs it back towards the infield. And he short hopped as irrelevant, and the ball bounced away.
Should have been stopped by Desi, though. Wasn't thrown all that hard. But at any rate, 2 men on base with 2 outs, a run across. Looped into right field, caught by Mark Lewis to retire the side. Nice play by Lewis. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error, 2 men left. Stretch time, we go to the bottom of the 7th. It's 5-4 Tampa Bay. To Major League scoreboard, Cincinnati over Detroit 5-2, and Steve Paris wins his first big league game since 1995. Houston all over Cleveland 12-2. That's in the 9th inning. Moises Alua's homer. Tom Glavine wins his 11th. Atlanta beating Toronto 10-3, joining Greg Maddux as the lone National League 11-game winners. Montreal leads Baltimore by a score of 8-4. Vladimir Guerrero a home run. The Cubs lead Kansas City, trying to halt a 7-game losing streak. 5-3 that one. Minnesota behind Bob Tewksbury, leading St. Louis 3-2. Milwaukee's been hot. They lead the White Sox 6-5. Oakland over Colorado 5-3. And just underway is Seattle at Arizona. Jamie Moyer against Brian Anderson. Anaheim at San Diego. Texas at San Francisco. Charlie Hayes has put the Giants on the board. They lead 3-0 in the first. 2-run single for Charlie. Boston and Florida starting shortly. In the night games, New York Yankees at the New York Mets and Pittsburgh at the Los Angeles. Here at Veterans Stadium, Tampa Bay leads 5-4. We are in the 9th inning, and Mark Leiter is the Phillies' new pitcher. Leiter coming on for Yorkis Perez. He's appearing in his 37th game. 2 wins, 2 losses, 15 saves, a 2.93 ERA. 46 innings, 33 hits, 15 earned runs. He struck out 45, walked 20, and opponents hitting just .210 against him. Miguel Cairo will lead it off. He's 3 for 3 with a sacrifice, 2 singles and a double. Cairo has had a good weekend here at Veterans Stadium. 7 hits in the 3 games. One ball and no strikes to Miguel Cairo. There you see the right-hander hitting just 167 against Leiter. High ball right field. Bobby Abreu is there. Cairo retired, 1 down. And we'll bring up Quentin McCracken.
Leiter has to keep this to a 1-run game. The Phillies in the 9th inning will get Rico Brogna and Bobby Abreu to the plate as the first 2 hitters. Mark Lewis then as the 3rd hitter. So they still have a heck of a shot to win this ball game, but you don't want it to turn into more than a 1-run game.
McCracken is 0 for 4 this afternoon. And strike to him. Loops it into left field, fair ball. Interfered with by a fan. So it'll be a double, a looping double for Quentin McCracken.
His kids reached out and touched that ball in fair territory. It's going to be a double anyway because McCracken can really run, and Sefcik was going to have to go in and get it. See where it hits here, and they reach out. Kid brought his glove and missed it anyway. And now Sefcik goes and gets it.
Fred McGriff has had a big ball game for Tampa Bay. A 2-run homer in the first and knocked in the go-ahead run in the 7th with an RBI single. Driven home 3 of the 5 Devil Ray runs. Lifetime against Mark Leiter. McGriff is a .273 hitter, 1 home run. He's 3 for 11 with a homer. Hit one there, missed it.
Fred McGriff's always been a deadly low ball hitter. There he chases a high fastball and swings through it.
Laid off that high fastball. 1-1 the count to Fred McGriff. Base hit center field. McCracken is being held.
Whoops.
And they got Fred McGriff caught in a rundown now as McCracken dances off. Mark Lewis, they always keep an eye on McCracken. Good play by the Phils. They kept McCracken at home at 3rd base and got the out on the rundown as Fred McGriff is caught in a rundown after getting a base hit.
And Fred McGriff just had a brain cramp there coming around first base. I don't know whether he thought the run had scored or what he was doing. But all of a sudden, I mean, he comes around first base. Rico's right behind him, and they've got him. But what they do in this rundown that is very well done is what Harry said. They kept watching McCracken the whole time. Doug Glanville seems like he always hits a cutoff man. And good things happen when you hit the cutoff man, and that's what happens there.
That'll be another assist for Glanville, his 10th.
Right. Abreu has 11.
Abreu leads the majors with 11, and Doug Glanville next with 10.
Nice job in that rundown play, and it all starts because the outfielder hits a cutoff man in the middle of the diamond.
Now here's Wade Boggs. I'm not sure what you do with him. He is hitless in this series, 0 for 10. He was intentionally walked his last time up. And I think they're contemplating maybe even doing it again. There's no question he's due, and against Mark Leiter, he's 6 for 13 lifetime.
Right, and DeFelice is due next, a right-handed batter. Here comes Galen Cisco out of the dugout now to see what they were just talking about and what the manager wants them to do. And we just put up the numbers of what Leiter is against right-handed batters. So it doesn't make any sense here to let Boggs hurt you.
No, you want to keep it a one-run game. It's that right now in the top of the ninth. Give the club a chance to come back in the bottom half.
Yeah, and they just made a base running mistake to help you keep it to a one-run game, and there's another argument for it. Pretty good numbers against Leiter.
Yes. So we'll see if indeed they put him on here and go after DeFelice. They could pinch hit for DeFelice.
They have Sorrento available.
Yeah.
I think we saw him last night.
Yeah, I believe we did. So it looks like they're going to pitch to Boggs. Blowing away, 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, this could be one of those. Well, we think they're going to hit Sorrento next, so we'd rather go after Boggs, who hasn't hit much in this series, or they are just going to pitch around him and take their chances on what happens after that.
Hadn't been close with either of those pitches. 2 balls and no strikes. To talk it over again with Mark Parent. 2-0 to count to Wade Boggs. Terry Francona wants to see this stay at a 1-run game. Scheduled to hit for the Phillies, bottom of the ninth. Rico Bronya, Bobby Abreu, Mark Lewis. 2-0 slider and got it over. 2 balls and a strike.
Well, Parent had put down a fastball before they had that conversation.
In the dirt.
See, that's what happens. I mean, you get a good base runner at third. Looked like he threw a splitter that time, which could be a tough ball to block, and they almost.
Another softball game involving the A's. Boy, they can hit.